Ladies and gentlemen, we live in a world that thrives on noise. Everyone wants to talk about their dreams, flaunt their ambitions, and seek validation before they've even begun the journey. But let me ask you this. What speaks louder, a whisper or a roaring triumph? Today I want to share with you the power of working hard in silence. This isn't just about staying quiet. It's about silencing the noise of negativity, the doubts in your mind, and the distractions that try to pull you off course. It's about keeping your head down, doing the work, and rising above the noise. Not with words, but with results. In the journey towards success, one of the greatest challenges we face is the noise around us. It's the voices of the critics, the doubters, the naysayers. They might come from those who don't understand your vision, from people who've never walked the path you're on. These voices often try to tell you that you're not enough, that you'll never make it, or that you're wasting your time. They want to remind you of your limitations, pointing out every mistake you make, highlighting your weaknesses, and magnifying your failures. And if you let them, these voices can drown out the very thing that will lead you to your success, your inner belief. But here's the truth. The best way to silence these critics isn't through words or arguments. It's through action. It's through mastering your craft. It's about letting your work speak for itself. When you are truly committed to something, whether it's a career, a personal goal, or a creative endeavor, the critic's words become insignificant. You don't need to respond to them because your work, your dedication, and your results will do the talking for you. The greatest way to prove the doubters wrong is to quietly keep pushing forward, improving and honing your skills. The more you focus on your craft, the more you become undeniable. Think about the masters in any field, whether it's sports, music, business, or any other pursuit. The great ones didn't waste time addressing every critic. They didn't let negative opinions distract them from their purpose. Instead, they took every ounce of criticism and used it to fuel their growth. They worked in silence, focusing not on what others said, but on perfecting their craft. The noise faded into the background as their work spoke volume. And this applies to each and every one of us. We all have a vision, a dream, something we're working toward. But along the way, we will face resistance. There will be moments when we question ourselves, when others doubt us, and when the world seems to be telling us to quit. During these times, it's easy to get caught up in the noise, to respond, to try to convince others of our potential. But let me tell you, responding to critics only drains your energy and shifts your focus away from what matters most, your growth. The key is to silence the critics by focusing on what you can control. That is your skill, your effort, your commitment. The more you master your craft, the more you eliminate the space for others to criticize you. When you deliver quality work consistently and with passion, the critics become irrelevant. In fact, they will eventually disappear because they will no longer have anything to say. Your results will be the loudest statement you can make. Silencing the critics also means tuning out the most harmful voice of all, the one that comes from within. Self-doubt can often be the harshest critic of all. It whispers that you're not enough, that your efforts don't matter, and that you'll never achieve your dreams. But when you focus on mastering your craft, you start to prove to yourself that you are capable. With every small improvement, every ounce of progress, you build your confidence. The louder your inner critic gets, the more you need to double down on your craft. Let your actions drown out the negative thoughts. The more you practice, the more skilled you become, and the less room there is for doubt. It's not always easy. The road to mastery is long, and the process requires patience, but it's worth it. As you improve, as you grow, the work you produce becomes more refined, more powerful, and more reflective of your true potential. The critics may not have seen your vision at first, but they'll see it now through the excellence you bring to the table. So, focus on what matters. Master your craft. Let your results do the talking. work in silence, and let your success make the noise for you. The critics will come and go, but your mastery will stand the test of time. Pain is a universal experience. We all encounter it at some point in our lives, whether it's physical, emotional, or mental. It's a part of being human, this inevitable moment when we face setbacks, disappointments, and heartache. But the truth is, pain doesn't have to be something that holds you back. In fact, it can be the very thing that propels you forward. The key lies in how you choose to respond to it. You see, pain can either break you or make you stronger. It can be your prison or your power. One of the most transformative things you can do in your journey is to learn how to turn pain into power. Instead of allowing it to paralyze you, use it as fuel to drive you toward your goals. This shift in perspective is what separates those who stay stuck in their suffering from those who rise above it. It's all about mindset. Pain, when approached the right way, becomes a powerful motivator. Think about the times in your life when you were faced with difficulty. Maybe it was a personal loss, a failure, or a moment of deep disappointment. In those moments, you had two choices. You could let the pain overwhelm you and keep you from moving forward, or you could use it to push yourself harder, to dig deeper, and to rise above the adversity. It's easy to let pain be an excuse. We all know how tempting it can be to say, I can't keep going because it hurts. And yes, it's true that pain is uncomfortable, and it's true that the process of healing takes time. But healing doesn't mean giving up or standing still. Healing means moving forward, even in the face of adversity. The key to turning pain into power is understanding that every challenge you face is an opportunity to grow, to learn, and to become better. The greatest achievers of all time didn't get to where they are by avoiding pain. They got there by embracing it. They understood that the struggle wasn't a sign of weakness, but a stepping stone to greatness. They knew that pain can either be a roadblock or a launching pad, and they chose to let it propel them forward. Instead of wallowing in their circumstances, they chose to learn from the pain and transform it into something greater. This transformation doesn't happen overnight. It requires resilience, persistence, and a willingness to face discomfort head on. But with each step you take through your pain, you build strength. You start to understand that your pain doesn't define you. It refines you. Every time you rise after being knocked down, you become stronger, more resilient, and more prepared for what lies ahead. Turning pain into power also means letting go of the idea that pain is something to avoid at all costs. We often try to shield ourselves from pain, but in doing so, we also shield ourselves from growth. Growth doesn't happen in comfort zones. It happens when we challenge ourselves, when we push through the tough times, and when we turn every hardship into an opportunity to develop our character. Think of the most successful people in history. They didn't achieve greatness because everything was easy for them. They achieved it because they faced pain and adversity with determination and purpose. They refused to let their struggles define them. Instead, they used their pain as a catalyst for their success. You, too, have the power to turn your pain into power. It starts with a mindset shift. Rather than seeing pain as something that is happening to you, see it as something that is happening for you. Each struggle, each setback, and each heartache is a lesson waiting to be learned. It's shaping you, refining you, and preparing you for something greater. You can't control when pain enters your life, but you can control how you respond to it. The choice is yours. You can let pain be your downfall, or you can use it as the fuel to ignite your rise. When you choose to turn your pain into power, you become unstoppable. You become someone who doesn't just endure the hardships of life, you transcend them. And with that power, there's nothing you can't achieve. Your mind is one of the most powerful tools you have. It shapes the way you see the world, the way you interact with others, and most importantly, the way you see yourself. But here's the thing, your mind can also be your greatest enemy. If left unchecked, it can become a breeding ground for negativity, self-doubt, and fear. The thoughts that run through your mind each day are not just random. They have a profound impact on the way you approach challenges, how you handle adversity, and ultimately how you achieve success. This is why learning to control your inner dialogue is absolutely essential for overcoming negative feelings and achieving your full potential. The truth is, the biggest battle you'll ever face isn't against the obstacles in front of you, it's the battle within your own mind. Every time you face a setback, there's a voice inside you that says, "You're not good enough," or "You'll never make it." Every time you face criticism or failure, your inner dialogue may turn negative, feeding into your self-doubt. It's this voice more than any external force that can keep you stuck in a place of insecurity and fear. And if you don't take control of that voice, it will control you. But the good news is, you have the power to change that inner narrative. You have the ability to silence the negativity and replace it with empowering, motivating, and affirming thoughts. This process of transforming your inner dialogue isn't about ignoring the challenges or pretending that everything is perfect. It's about shifting the focus away from self-doubt and putting your energy into belief, growth, and resilience. When you control your inner dialogue, you take charge of your mindset. Instead of thinking, "This is too hard, I can't do this," you begin to think, "I am capable of overcoming this. I will find a way." Instead of hearing, "I'm not good enough," you replace it with, "I am constantly improving. Every step I take brings me closer to my goal." This shift in thinking doesn't just make you feel better, it empowers you to take action. Positive self-talk is not some fluffy, unrealistic concept. It's a tool, a strategy for success. Think of it as your mental conditioning. Just as an athlete trains their body to perform at its peak, you must train your mind to focus on what you can achieve rather than on what you fear. It's easy to focus on the negative. Our brains are wired to protect us from harm. So they tend to focus on threats or difficulties. But when you learn to consciously redirect your thoughts toward the positive, your brain starts to work in your favor. It begins to see solutions instead of problems, opportunities instead of obstacles. This doesn't mean you'll never experience negative thoughts again. They will come. That's part of being human. But when you control your inner dialogue, you learn to acknowledge those thoughts without letting them control your actions. You understand that just because a negative thought enters your mind doesn't mean it's true or that you have to act on it. Instead, you can replace it with something more constructive. Over time, this process of changing your inner dialogue becomes a habit. It becomes a muscle that you strengthen each time you choose to replace a negative thought with a positive one. It's a powerful way to shift your energy and your focus from fear to possibility, from doubt to confidence. Imagine what could happen if you controlled your inner dialogue every single day. Every challenge you face will become an opportunity for growth. Every failure would be seen as a lesson, a stepping stone toward your ultimate success. You would no longer be limited by your doubts or fears because you would know that they are just thoughts, temporary and changeable. You would be empowered by the belief that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way. The key to controlling your inner dialogue is consistency. It's about consciously choosing to feed your mind with positive, empowering thoughts every single day. The more you practice, the more natural it becomes. And soon, you'll find that your inner dialogue becomes your biggest supporter, not your harshest critic. Remember, you are the one who decides what to believe. You have the power to shape your thoughts, to reframe negative self-talk, and to fuel yourself with the confidence and strength you need to overcome any challenge. The way you talk to yourself matters. So take control of your inner dialogue and watch how your world begins to shift. When you believe in yourself, when you train your mind to focus on possibility, there is nothing you can't accomplish. And patience and persistence, two qualities that often go unnoticed or undervalued in today's fast-paced world. We live in an era where instant gratification is the norm. We want results, and we want them now. Whether it's in our personal lives, our careers, or our dreams, the desire for quick success often leads us to believe that if something doesn't happen right away, it's not worth pursuing. But here's the reality. True success rarely happens overnight. It takes time, effort, and an unwavering commitment to the process. That's where the power of patience and persistence comes in. These two qualities are the foundation of long-term achievement. Patience is the ability to wait calmly without frustration. But it is not just about the act of waiting. It's about having the wisdom to understand that all things worth achieving take time. The journey to success is rarely a straight line. There will be setbacks, delays, and obstacles along the way. But when you embrace patience, you understand that these challenges are simply part of the process, not reasons to give up. Patience allows you to stay the course even when things aren't moving as quickly as you'd like. It teaches you that growth happens slowly, often in ways you can't see immediately. Think of a tree growing from a tiny seed. It doesn't sprout fully formed, ready to give fruit the next day. It takes years of nurturing, developing roots, stretching toward the sun, and enduring the elements. But over time, it grows strong, and eventually it bears fruit. Success is much like that tree. In the early stages, you might not see the results of your hard work, and that's when patience becomes critical. It's about trusting that every effort, no matter how small, is contributing to your eventual success. Persistence, on the other hand, is the determination to keep going even when things get tough. It's the refusal to quit no matter how many times you face failure or rejection. Persistence means pushing through when the going gets rough, when others tell you to quit, and when you feel like throwing in the towel. But here's the truth. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't often comes down to persistence. The road to success is filled with obstacles and challenges, but those who persist are the ones who make it to the other side. Persistence isn't about working harder in the traditional sense. It's about staying committed day in and day out despite the challenges. It's about showing up when no one else is watching, continuing to push forward when the results aren't immediate, and refusing to let failure define you. Every time you fail and get back up, you build resilience. Every time you encounter a setback and refuse to quit, you get closer to your goal. Persistence turns the seemingly impossible into the possible. It's about being relentless in the pursuit of your dreams, knowing that the only way to truly fail is to give up. Both patience and persistence work hand in hand. Patience teaches you to trust the process, while persistence gives you the strength to keep going, even when the process is difficult. Together they form the perfect combination for success. Without patience, you risk giving up too soon, losing sight of your goal before you've had the chance to achieve it. Without persistence, you might have the patience to wait, but not the drive to keep moving forward, even when the road gets tough. Patience and persistence are especially important when you encounter failure. Failure is often seen as a negative experience, but in reality, it's a crucial part of growth. Failure teaches you what doesn't work, it strengthens your resolve, and it gives you the opportunity to learn. But failure doesn't mean the end of the road. It's simply a detour, a lesson, a reminder that the journey isn't always linear. If you can be patient with the process and persistent in your pursuit, you'll find that failure becomes just another step on the path. When you commit to being both patient and persistent, you stop looking for shortcuts. You understand that success doesn't come with a quick fix, but with steady, deliberate effort over time. You begin to appreciate the journey, knowing that the struggles you face along the way will only make the victory sweeter. The power of patience and persistence lies in the understanding that anything worth achieving is worth working for, even if it takes longer than you expect. In the end, those who persevere are the ones who win. The journey may be long, but with patience and persistence, it will be worth every step. Negativity is an inevitable part of life. It comes in many forms: self-doubt, criticism from others, failures, setbacks, and even the harshness of the world around us. At times, negativity can feel overwhelming, like a cloud that casts a shadow over your progress, making everything seem harder than it is. But here's the reality. Negativity doesn't have to be your enemy. Look at it. In fact, if you learn how to transform negativity into opportunity, you'll find that it can be one of your greatest allies in the pursuit of success. The key lies in how you choose to respond to it. Every negative experience, every challenge, every criticism holds the potential for growth. While negativity can bring you down in the moment, it also carries within it a lesson that can propel you forward if you choose to see it that way. The first step in transforming negativity into opportunity is changing your perspective. Instead of viewing negative experiences as obstacles, start seeing them as opportunities to learn, grow, and improve. When you do this, you shift the narrative from "I can't" to "I can." The way you interpret challenges makes all the difference in how you move forward. For example, let's say you've received harsh criticism about something you've worked hard on. It's easy to take it personally and allow it to deflate your confidence. You might start to think, "I'm not good enough," or "I'll never get it right." But instead of letting that negativity cripple you, take a step back and look at the criticism objectively. What's the valuable feedback that you can use? Is there something in the criticism that can be applied to improve your work or your approach? By asking yourself these questions, you take the power away from the negativity and use it to fuel your growth. Similarly, when you encounter failure, whether it's a missed opportunity, a business venture that didn't work out, or a project that fell flat, it's easy to be discouraged and feel defeated. But failure isn't the end. It's simply a part of the process. In fact, failure is one of the most valuable teachers you'll ever have. Each failure shows you what doesn't work and gives you an opportunity to reassess your approach. If you take the time to reflect on what went wrong and why, you can adjust your strategy and come back stronger. Rather than seeing failure as a setback, start seeing it as a lesson, one that brings you closer to success with each attempt. Negativity, whether it comes from within or from external sources, is often a sign that you are pushing boundaries, stepping outside your comfort zone and doing something meaningful. People are more likely to criticize or express negativity when they see you challenging the status quo or taking risks. But instead of letting those voices discourage you, use them as a reminder that you are doing something that matters. Negative feedback can be a sign that you're on the right track, that you're breaking new ground, and that you're doing something that others find noteworthy, even if they don't understand it yet. One of the most powerful tools you can use to transform negativity into opportunity is self-awareness. When negative thoughts or situations arise, take a moment to pause and reflect. Ask yourself why you feel the way you do. Is it fear of failure? Is it the judgment of others? Is it a fear of being vulnerable? When you identify the root of your negativity, you can address it directly rather than allowing it to control you. This level of awareness helps you take ownership of your emotions and responses rather than letting them dictate your actions. Another key to transforming negativity is resilience. Resilience isn't about avoiding negative situations. It's about how you bounce back when things don't go as planned. It's about staying focused on your goals and not letting temporary setbacks derail you. The more resilient you become, the more you can see each negative experience as a stepping stone One powerful way to transform negativity is by reframing your mindset. Instead of thinking, this is happening to me, reframe it as, this is happening for me. Even in the most challenging circumstances, there is always something to be gained, a new perspective, a stronger skill set, or a deeper understanding of yourself. The ability to reframe your thinking allows you to find opportunities even in the darkest situations. In the end, negativity doesn't have to be a dead end. When you shift your mindset, embrace resilience, and take actionable steps to learn from each negative experience, you'll find that negativity can be a powerful tool for growth. It may take time, effort, and persistence, but once you learn how to transform negativity into opportunity, you'll see how it can serve you on your journey to success. Instead of fearing it or allowing it to hold you back, you'll learn to use negativity as fuel for your dreams, turning every setback into a comeback and every challenge into a stepping stone toward achieving your goals. There is a unique power in silence, a power that often goes unnoticed until it is revealed in full force. For much of the journey toward success, you will find yourself working quietly, focusing on your craft, developing your skills, and staying committed to your goals, often without receiving the recognition or acknowledgement you feel you deserve. It's in these moments that patience and persistence are your closest allies. You're working, striving, and pushing forward, but the world may not be paying attention. But here's the key. The world doesn't need to pay attention in the early stages. The sweet sound of unveiling success is something far more profound. It's the moment when your hard work, your quiet dedication, and your resilience finally speak for themselves. Think about the process of crafting something great. Whether it's building a business, perfecting a skill, or pursuing a passion, the journey is rarely smooth. The world may not see the hours of practice, the sacrifices, the frustrations, or the challenges you've faced. It's easy to feel invisible in the midst of hard work. But when success finally arrives, when the results of your labor are unveiled to the world, it will make a sound far louder than any words you could have spoken. That sound will be the unmistakable sound of your achievements. It will be the recognition of your efforts, the appreciation of your hard-earned results, and the undeniable proof that the work you've done has been worth every moment of silence. This moment of unveiling success is often a culmination of years of quiet effort. It's a process that demands you to stay focused, to keep moving forward without the applause, and to trust in the journey, even when it feels like no one is watching. Success is not something that can be rushed. It doesn't come from shortcuts or instant gratification. It comes from the consistent, behind-the-scenes work that no one sees and no one hears. And when that moment finally comes, when your hard work is seen by the world, there is nothing sweeter than hearing the sound of recognition. The beauty of unveiling success is that it doesn't require validation from others. Yes, others may celebrate your achievements, but the most rewarding sound is the one that comes from within. It's the deep, satisfying sense of accomplishment that fills you when you know that you've given everything you had. That sound is the echo of your dedication, your commitment, and your belief in your own potential. It's the quiet confirmation that you were right to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against you. What makes this sound even sweeter is that it often arrives after a period of struggle, of doubt, and of uncertainty. In the beginning, the road may have seemed unclear, and you might have wondered if you were on the right path. There may have been times when you questioned whether all the effort was worth it, whether success was even possible. But then, as you continued to work in silence, something shifted. The hard work began to pay off. Opportunities began to open up. Doors that had once been closed started to open, and the results of your labor started to speak for themselves. When success is finally unveiled, it's not just about the recognition or the rewards. It's about the satisfaction of knowing that you did it. It's about the realization that every moment of struggle, every ounce of effort, and every sacrifice you made was part of the process that brought you to this point. The sweet sound of unveiling success is the sound of your growth, your resilience, and your unwavering belief in yourself. It's the sound of you proving, not to anyone else, but to yourself, that you are capable of achieving greatness. What makes this sound even more beautiful is that it's not fleeting. Unlike the fleeting applause of others, the recognition of your success resonates within you. It lingers, reminding you of what you're capable of and pushing you forward toward even greater achievements. And the more you unveil, the louder the sound of success becomes, not just in your external world, but within your own heart. The sweet sound of unveiling success is the moment you realize that all the quiet work, all the persistence in silence was worth it. It's the moment you hear the confirmation that your effort was never in vain. So continue working, continue striving, and continue believing in yourself. Because when your success is finally unveiled, the sound it makes will echo far beyond anything you could ever imagine.